New Jersey Congressman Chris Smith sounding the alarm on the World Health Organization's pandemic treaty. He held a press conference yesterday highlighting concerns over potential WHO overreach, infringement on U.S. sovereignty, and a host of other issues.
The treaty, announced in March of 2021, aims to enhance international cooperation to improve preparedness for the next potential pandemic. But Smith said far too little scrutiny has been given to the agreement. The treaty, which will be legally binding, promises a sustainable funding mechanism that will rely on annual monetary contributions to the WHO. It's unclear, Smith said, whether the Biden administration intends to submit this treaty agreement to the Senate for its approval.
Whether it's Ebola, HIV/AIDS, cholera, or COVID-19, or any other pandemic we've had to face, Americans have been extremely generous and have relied on U.S. agencies which are accountable to the American people to make recommendations and decisions concerning allocation of funds, not unelected bureaucrats at WHO, New Jersey.
Alongside Smith were several experts, all of whom laid out their concerns with the proposed treaty. A section of the treaty would require countries to implement pandemic prevention and public health service plans that are consistent with international health regulations.
I submit to you that it's going to be done through vaccine passports, although they're not going to call them vaccine passports. They're going to call them digital IDs.
The purpose of these IDs, the WHO says, is to monitor if people are sick and whether they are vaccinated. But Littlejohn says their scope could be much broader.
But if you look on the World Economic Forum website, there's a chart about what you're going to have a digital ID to do, which is access health care, travel, have a bank account, shop online, pay your taxes, vote.
Smith said the new treaty would give the WHO unprecedented power.
And if and when there is a pandemic, they will be able to say to country X, Y, and Z, we demand, we don't ask, we demand, we don't request, we demand at least 20% of the costs of that pandemic, whatever it is, vaccinations that have to be paid for, we take it, we now control it, and we disseminate it.
The congressman is demanding that more questions be asked of WHO before Americans accept any agreement from the international body.
And joining us now is Reggie Littlejohn, the co-founder of Sovereignty Coalition, a nonpartisan advocacy group focused on defending national sovereignty. I do know there has been criticism of the WHO in terms of potential control. We had Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart recently saying that the WHO has become a subsidiary of the Chinese Communist Party, which is, of course, a dictatorship. And he's calling for the U.S. to defund the WHO. Could you explain the connection with the WHO and the CCP and the evidence for it?
Well, the connection is that the WHO seems to be basically a mouthpiece for the CCP. We saw that in COVID. The Chinese Communist Party in COVID lied. They said that there was no human-to-human transmission. The WHO repeated that. The CCP said that they've got COVID under control and that there should be no restriction in flights. Meanwhile, they were restricting flights and travel into and from Wuhan internally, but they were saying that we would be racist if we would restrict flights from China, and the WHO parroted that. When the WHO came over to China, the Chinese Communist Party seriously restricted their ability to conduct any kind of an investigation, and the WHO did not push back. So then the WHO parroted China's response to the epidemic, which was to lockdowns, mask mandates, vaccine mandates, imposing the China model on the world.